One of the more challenging things that you have to deal with in academia is selfish people. And I strongly believe it's actually the career that drives selfishness, where people are inward focused and that's all they care about. And I want to talk about this, and hopefully, I'm going to help you process or think about what you should do with selfish people. I'm not the best at it, but I've had experience, and this is how I deal with it. So within academia, you can imagine it as a bit of it's a competitive process. So it's a selection process. What you have to do is many people apply, very few people get in, and it's like that all the way through in all stages of the academic game. So whether it's getting into college, whether it's getting into graduate school, going on and becoming a professor. And so what this does, it leads or it sort of selects people that are prioritizing their own selves over everybody else. One of the easiest ways that you can get ahead is to act selfishly. And in the short term, I think that's really, really a strong force that drives a lot of performance where you prioritize yourself, you prioritize everything about you over everything else, right? And you push the rest of the world away, and then it's all about you. And so what ends up happening is as you get further along, you realize that there is a lot of selfish people that selects for. One way to call that is sort of narcissistic people, right? But what it does, it has a large number of people that are trying to prioritize themselves over everybody else and focus on how that they can grab as much resources as possible, and so that they can maximize those particular resources. And I think also too is that it selects for individuals that are strategic in thinking about how to get ahead and the different ways that you can, you can get ahead. So they're constantly, many people are thinking strategically in the sense that if I do this, then somebody else is going to give something back to me in a very transactional way. And so what ends up happening is you start to get to know a lot of people that do act very selfishly with who they are and what they're about, and you sort of see the sort of transactional nature of what actually happens. And many times you'll be in a transactional relationship and you'll get burnt, right? Something will happen to you, and you'll be like, "Why did that happen to me?" And, after a lot of processing, a lot of sort of, thinking through these kind of things, I've learned to sort of deal with this in this particular fashion, right? So I think about, um, I can't help them. I can't change who they are. And if it's not this one particular person that is going to be very, very selfish to me, it's going to be another person. And they'll have a very transactional view of the world. And so what I end up doing is, what so Dr. Les Carter's got this great YouTube channel. And the way that I've processed it is exactly what he would do. And what he talks about is you just go into gray rock mode, right? So when I go into work, I lose much of who I am inside, right? And I just go into gray rock mode, and I'm just kind of dead to it all at this moment. And I know that sounds really, really terrible, right? When I say this out loud, and I was thinking about how do I process this? How do I tell an audience? But you just go into just gray rock. You're dead to the rest of the world, and you just simply execute when you're there. And you remove all of the emotional components. You remove everything that you have these sort of expectations